Hi there. It's Karen Beauvais, your responsible broker, coming at you. Coldwell Banker Distinctive Agents. Today I'm going to talk about the new HOA disclosures that are now required on the 2019 Colorado Real Estate Contract to Buy and Sell Real Estate. They've made big changes to the state approved contract regarding the HOA disclosures. Maybe you haven't taken a good look at it or taken the class, but I just want to remind you that as a result, effective the first of this year, the HOA disclosure requirements are substantially changed, requiring the seller, meaning the seller, the listing broker, to provide articles of incorporation, bylaws, operating agreements, rules and regulations, party wall agreements, responsible governance policies, the annual meeting minutes, all current and prior fiscal year board meetings, executive board meetings, manager minutes, and also the end of the year balance sheet and the income statement. They're also going to be required to provide a budget, the reserve study, beginning reserves amount prior to the fiscal year. If there's been an audit, they're going to need to review the results. The seller needs to provide the copy of their insurance policy for the building, assessments by unit type, fees and charges, construction defect actions, and a status letter. This information must be provided by the contract deadline, or the buyer, very important, the buyer has a right to cancel the contract. If the buyer does not get this information 14 days prior to the closing date, the buyer can cancel the contract. A change of this magnitude has a potential to create chaos in most real estate professionals' offices. The reason for that is that it's so difficult to get this information from our HOAs. I'm going to use Steamboat as an example because that's what I'm most familiar with, but this also applies to Grand Junction, Montrose, Vale, Telluride, and Craig. Anybody selling a common interest community, a condo or a townhome, needs to provide all of this information. It's additional workload for the various management companies who are striving to be in compliance. For instance, in Steamboat, Mountain Resorts has a website for brokers where 98% of this required information is already posted and is kept updated as needed. Their staff is going through each of the associations to determine what docs might still be needed and will have them uploaded as their schedule and time allows. Of course, this has to occur right now during the winter, where it's their busiest season, where they're trying to accommodate all of their guests at the same time. Here's the crux of the issue. This past week, Steamboat has had several association managers call our board office and tell our EO that they've been contacted by brokers requesting association documents, and when asked for their deadline, it's usually 5 o'clock that afternoon or first thing the next morning. It puts the responsibility on the managers to drop everything and respond to the brokers when the brokers expect a 5 or 6 hour turnaround for documents that could take hours to comply together. What if a manager or someone in charge is out of the office or on vacation or sick? Then what happens to the broker's deadline? All kinds of breakdown scenarios can occur. The association managers are asking to provide at least a 48-hour lead time when requesting association documents. Most of the time, these docs will be uploaded, but if they're not, they need time to be able to gather and provide them. The goal of most association managers is to provide the brokers with what you need to be successful, whether the association docs or even on the lender forms. Just give them ample time for them to do so. Perhaps when the contract is signed, it'd be helpful to send an email to the appropriate association manager, copying your seller and copying the buyer, to notify them of all the deadline dates and request the needed documents at that early time. I would like to see you go to your different associations, whether you're Telluride or Craig or Grand Junction or whoever you are. Talk to your EO at your Board of Realtors Association and see if they are working together with the different management companies to get this much needed paperwork to the buyers. Again, the thing I can tell you most of all is that the buyer can cancel the contract if he doesn't get this 14 days before closing. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Have a wonderful, wonderful selling day, and thanks so much. Bye bye.